Well, hello, Cubs fans, and welcome to a brand new edition of Cubs on Tap. I am Ron Luce, joined by the man that saves kittens from trees, runs into burning buildings, and joins us from
Just the kittens,
the
just the
firehouse.
kittens part, pretty much. Yeah.
Mr. Tyler Edmonds. Tyler, we got a lot of good Cubs baseball to talk about, but first and foremost, happy
We
Sunday to
do.
you. How are you, my
Happy
friend?
Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hey, it's like we always say. It is always a great weekend when you're celebrating not only a win, but a series win. Wins make everyone happy. And Ron, I'm having a great weekend.
As am I, Tyler. I personally just got back from the great state of Michigan.
Okay.
Spent some time up by the beach and one little last hurrah before we get into a busy stretch here in August and into September, and of course through the fall. But Tyler, it's a lot of fun watching this Cubs team right now. And I'll tell you what, Tyler, I promise everybody, I'm sure a lot of people look at me and they're like, Ron, you don't have your habitual blue tank top on. That's because I'm rocking my obvious shirts tank top. Of course.
Heck yeah.
I'm waiting for Joe to make more of these. Genuinely waiting for Joe to make more of these. But PCA is rowing
Dude,
the
that is
Cubs across the
awesome.
Delaware right now and taking them to new heights. And you can do the same thing, ladies and gentlemen, because the old widget's back. Go up in the top left-hand corner of our screen. That'll take you right to the Obvious Shirts website. Of course, promo code ONTAPSports saves you 10% when you check out. And it's a good way to support the program here at Cubs on Tap. And, of course, support Obvious Shirts and all the good work they do over there. And, yeah, Tyler, I mean, the last time we were here talking about Cubs baseball was right after the trade deadline. Monday night, we had a big show. Myself, Joey, we were joined by special guest Nick Newmeyer. It was a good show. We had a lot of fun. Talked a lot about what the deadline meant. What what was going to happen from here on out. And then they go out and play incredible baseball. And we're going to talk a little bit about each series, but they sweep the Dodgers. They take care of the Blue Jays in epic fashion on Thursday in that makeup game.
What a game, by the way.
And then they go take 2 out of 3 from the Royals. I know a lot of people were hoping for a series sweep. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't hoping for a series sweep against a team like the Royals. But you still win a series. You still win 2 out of 3. Good things happen when you win 2 out of 3. And Tyler, I can't disagree with Scott here. The Cubs are fun good right now after a 6-1 week.
They are. I mean, that is a great way to put. They are fun, good. You capitalize on a great trade deadline. You get Jim makes the moves, not just moves just to make moves, but he makes moves to help this team. And some of those pieces did exactly that. Obviously the Dodgers series was awesome. That game Thursday, dude. Wow. Well, I was really hoping to see Kevin Gausman versus a Jameson Taillon, but I think Gausman even said it would have been it was going to be tough facing his team. I mean that would be probably a little tough facing your very first start on your new team as against your former team. Mm-hmm. But you know what? That which let alone you can't look past that Dodgers series. More like Dodgers sweep, but And you can't look past the last game of that series with the PCA versus Ohtani, and just how epic that was. But that game Thursday, you get dominated by Dylan Cease all game long, and then to turn around and just ride the storm until late in the game. Alex Bregman, that was the Alex Bregman game. He needed that so bad, and to do that on the last out, the last strike, down to the final moment you thought of the game, and he said, no, we're playing more baseball. And then PCA does PCA. We talked, I mean, our X account, we said it all night that night. Chaos. Absolute chaos. Which is just one of the 15,000 things that PCA brings, but it's just fun. It is so fun. It is such a fun team to watch right now.
It sure is. And Tyler, let's take this thing a little bit series by series here, because that Dodgers series was an absolute blast. And before we get going too much, I want to first say hello to a couple of people in the comments that are joining us. And just like those great individuals joining our comment section, you can too chime in. We'll bring up the comments as much as we humanly can throughout the course of the show as we go series by series here from the 6-1 Cubs week. But Tyler, we could talk a little bit about that Dodgers series. So when we were on the show Monday, we went live pretty much just after the game one victory. A 10-5 offensive explosion. Even though Matthew Boyd got banged around a little bit earlier in the game, he settles in and takes care of business and gives them a really strong outing. And they come away with a huge win. And we're like, okay, that's a great start. That's a great start. Then they go out and take care of business again on Tuesday. And everybody's like, okay, this is.
And that was a close game. That was,
and it
like,
was.
the Dodgers had the lead early. You're a 1-1 game until late in the game. Like, that could have gone either way.
Could have gone either way. It felt like playoff baseball.
I don't know. I don't know if you've heard of this guy, Ron. I don't know if the baseball world's heard of this guy, but they were facing this guy, Tariq Skubal or something like that. I can't remember. I forget it. But I think it was on prompt. It was the MLB game or the MLB TV game of the night.
It was, yeah.
Wow.
It was also on TNT for people outside of those individual markets. So this was technically a national televised game. And people got to watch Skubal not really have hit all the greatest debut for the Dodgers because the Cubs just did Cub things. And I think it was a great showcase for what this Cubs team brings this year and what they're able to do. And then, Tyler, I'll tell you what, man, being in attendance for the PCA Ohtani battle for NL MVP.
I forgot about that.
Was incredible, my friend. Talk about a way to spend a midweek. It was beautiful. My good buddy Joe, Joe. He spent
Joe.
some time with us.
He tweeted at me. Yeah.
We spent some time with him on opening day. Good friend of the program, Mr. Joe Sanders. A shout out to my good buddy. Man, we had a day. We rode the train downtown with my wife because she works in the city on Wednesdays. So we got to chit chat with her, and then I felt bad because we were going to have fun and she had to go to work. Sorry, Katie, I love you. And then, dude, it was a day. Beautiful day at Murphy's. The wind was blowing. The sun was out. It was feeling good. Vibes were high. And talk about that freaking start, man. Shohei Ohtani goes deep. Okay. Yeah, Shohei Ohtani. What do you expect? Sure. And they only get the one. Right? Yeah, first. Well, pretty close to it. First pitch. And then the first pitch that PCA sees off Lauer goes into the bleachers. I'll tell you what, Tyler. Cubs games are loud. No matter how good or bad this team is, no matter what time that pop, because it was right as people were kind of settling into their seats. Pop, I tell you, in the ballpark was unbelievable. And it was like, all right, 0-0, baby. Let's keep this thing going. And to see both of them go deep twice was it. What could you ask for?
I'm sure when Ohtani hit that home run, you were probably most of the stadium was probably like, crap, it's going to be that. It's going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those games, huh? First pitch. I mean, I get it. It's Ohtani, arguably one of the greatest players ever to step on a baseball field. And you're like, crap, it's going to go like it's going like this, huh? And just for PCA to punch right, I want to say that's the first time that's happened. I thought I heard maybe like in like 15 or 16 years.
Where both leadoff hitters went deep.
Both leadoff hitters went deep, or maybe that, or something like I'm sure that was epic.
Cool, man. It was epic. It was such a fun game, and I'll tell you what. I know everybody's like, well, they tried to blow it, or well, they tried to do. I'll tell you what, man. When it came down to it, they showed up, they showed out, they took care of business. At the end of the day, the Dodgers are a good team. Like you got to put them away big if you're gonna run away from them. Like even if you put them away, they're gonna. That whole series felt like a playoff series, even though two of the games were, for majority of it, not close. It still felt like a playoff series. And that was the beauty of this being a sweep for the Cubs and not just 2 out of 3 or worst case scenario, of course, either one of those decisions going the other way. They took care of business. And Tyler, I'll tell you what, it was also really cool getting to see Zephyrjan
Yeah,
pretty much right off the jump. They were like, hey, man, welcome to the Cubs.
he,
We're glad you're here for 4 years. We're going to use
he's
the
gonna be
absolute
so
shit out of
nasty.
you. That sweeper's crazy.
He's
Absolutely
gonna be. I
crazy to
mean, I
see
know
him.
that the home run he gave up to Otani. What was that in game 3?
Game 3. Yeah,
Was that game 3? I mean,
that was the
that
Wednesday
was
game.
one of those innings where like he was
Momentum.
kind of put in a difficult situation type thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not worried about that. Like, he is going to make big ass for this team in big spots. You can see it. Everybody can see it. Back to Boyd for a second. I know you were talking about him giving up 5 runs, and normally we'd be like, "Oh shoot, Boyd gave up 5 runs," but you give up 5 runs against the Dodgers, and you still pitch in the 7th inning. In the 7th inning against the Dodgers,
Hell yeah.
that's a win in itself because yeah, you gave up. I think what 4 of them were earned, but
Yeah.
you went 6 2/3 against the Dodgers. That at least tells you that you just stay in the game that long against the Dodgers. You kept your team in the game. Your team's in the
1000%.
game.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I'll double down really quick on Boyd before we read a couple comments here, Tyler. Look what he did then in the finale against the Royals. 7
Yeah.
innings, 2 earned. Matthew Boyd. Hey, I'll tell you what. We at Cubs on Tap here try not to beat our chest or pat ourselves on the back when we sometimes get things right in hindsight. This is one I think we're going to do because I think we had a great episode. It was you, myself, and Juice.
Juice,
Right
you guys sold me.
after
Y'all both sold me on
the
him. Y'all
Matthew Boyd
both
acquisition.
Yeah, both of y'all were singing his praises before he even threw a pitch.
That was first off just an incredible show because that was some really nerdy, like we were screen sharing in that one. It was deep, but I think it also showcased
because he changed he changed his arm angle or something.
His arm slot changed.
Yeah,
and it created more run on his breaking pitches. It made his curve and his sweeper look similar, so they were tunneling better.
Yeah,
even though one obviously breaks significantly more than the other. Yeah, he did a lot of great things, but I'm still so impressed though because this was a guy for most of his career where like I remember him when he was a Tiger. It was high strikeouts. It was sometimes he was only going 5. That was pretty habitual. You'd see a lot of like 5 inning, 8 to 10 strikeout games from him where he maybe gave up like 3 because of some hard contact. He has almost reinvented himself as a pitcher now.
Oh, he has.
To, play to the ground ball, still have that strikeout stuff. And kudos to the Cubs for scouting it in a way and finding that marriage and saying, hey, look, this is going to work based on how we want this team to look. And shout out for Matthew Boyd for becoming a Cubs legend, genuinely, even though he's probably only going to be here for 2, maybe 3 years because there is a mutual option in play for next season for him and the Cubs. And for like $18 million, I'd be willing to get him back here. Yeah, it's 100% a possibility.
No offense. Age is just a number, but at his current, what is he, probably 30?
I think he's 33. I think he's 34. I'm pulling it up right now. I'm sorry, he's 35.
I mean, at that age, and 18 million mutual, I mean, it would be worth it, I feel like.
I think it would be. So I got the number right here for it. So this would be his age 36 season. And mind you, he's not a guy that, next year will be his 36. He's 35 right now. So his age 36 season would be 2027. So the mutual option here, if he were to take that mutual option, it's $15 million. In this economy for pitchers, even Matthew Boyd at 36, I think I'm picking that up easily. Like, I don't even think it's a question. And if I'm Matthew Boyd, I'm guaranteed $15 million. Sure, maybe he could go out on the market and get a 2-year deal for maybe a little bit more money, but I think he likes being a Cub. And I think he likes playing for this team at Wrigley, and this defense behind him really helps him out. As we heard also from Kevin Gossman.
It's like you said, he's reinvented himself, and he's at the play. Why? I get it if somebody offers you a fatter contract, but if it's similar, I mean, if it's remotely close to what this mutual option is going to be,
just pick up the option.
Why not just stay here? It's worked. like you said, he's reinvented himself here, and just having that familiarity uh, with what he's doing right now, that's a lot.
Yep.
And at that age, yeah, why
I
not
think
try? There's nothing he's done this year that's got me worried that, oh man, can he sustain this next year? I
mhm.
mean, nothing is shown that he couldn't.
Matthew Boyd strikes me as the type of player right now where they got to Chicago. They love Chicago. His kids are growing up here now because he's at that age where he's an older veteran. His kids are old enough to like remember him playing baseball here.
Mm-hmm.
I think again, it's just a marriage where like you heard him in his press conference. Well, how he was so excited to be a Cub and like honored to be
Oh
pitching at
yeah,
Wrigley and like, yeah, man, that fires me up. Get him back here now, Jay. I totally agree. My head goes here too.
I
So
know.
we may
Yeah,
have
for
baseball
sure.
next season, but I really do think it could be something great. Scott had a comment here. Speaking of Boyd, Boyd is his game one starter in any playoff series this year. I don't think that's
I
crazy.
wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy. I think he's earned it. He's been your most
Yeah.
consistent pitcher all year besides Shota. So you have an argument between those two, but I think they're both incredible options. Darren says, yeah, Ron even had the graphs. Sure did. Sold on Boyd, never looked
Yeah.
back. But Matthew Boyd's been fun, man. Matthew Boyd's been a good one. That's going to be a good jersey like down the road in like 10
Oh
years.
yeah.
Someone's gonna be like, ooh, Matthew Boyd jersey. That's good.
That's going to
That's
be in
gonna,
there with
gonna
the
get on my list.
Ted Lilly.
Yes. Yes. Oh, you know what?
Throw it in there in that same cat.
That might be the perfect comparison, Tyler.
You
I
can
agree.
have yourself like a lefty row just of jerseys. That's all I need to do.
Does
Maybe I should
does
do that. I'm a
Drew does
lefty. I should do
Drew
that.
does
What am I
Drew
thinking?
Smiley get a spot on the Cubs Tyler lefty row? Maybe. Maybe we get Drew Smiley up there. Maybe not.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. I'm excited about this lefty row, Tyler. We'll have to talk about this more later because I think this is a
That's good.
fantastic idea that you've come up with. A couple more comments. Scott says here he took his wife took his son to the Scooble game, got an autograph from Matt Shaw, caught a foul ball, and saw Cookie Monster sing the seventh. That is a great game.
I mean, that's it.
Heck yeah,
The
that's the way
ultimate
to do it, man.
experience.
He says his son is 3-0 in his career when attending Wrigley. So if anybody wants to share some playoffs tickets to keep the streak alive,
Yeah.
shout out to Scott from Iowa.
Get,
you know what?
Get that kid some tickets for sure.
Hell yeah. If he's
Yeah.
seeing nothing but wins, we want him in the ballpark. And this was a little bit earlier from Darren Tyler, but I do want to address it because I think this is something that we talked a
totally
little
agree
bit
with
about
this
on Monday, but I can't oversell it. Darren says, we so glad we kept Pedro deadline. Looks like a 7-year vet at the plate plus flashes the ladder. He made that sick play in that Dodgers game on Monday night. Like we breezed over it in the trade deadline show because we had a lot of other things to talk about.
Yeah.
But going back, like, how about Pedro Ramirez, like just becoming this perfect bench player for the Cubs? If you have him and Matt Shaw that can do that, you're the only team in the league that has.
Oh yeah, he puts the ball in play. He doesn't strike out much, and it's just like somehow he involves him. Of course, he's playing, but like he somehow when he's in the game, there's just something that he does every game that gets him that helps contribute to the win. It feels like every time he's in the lineup, it just feels like he does something every time, man. And like you said, he is the perfect bench player. Especially, with younger guys, there's always that question mark. Like, oh man, how's this? It's going to be tough. He's young. I don't know about it, but like so far, he's taken the role that, and this is nothing against Matt Shaw, but he's taken that role that we penciled Matt Shaw in at the beginning of the year, and he has taken it and just ran with it. And if Matt Shaw can come back too and do the same thing, that's two guys you've got that, man, wow. Pedro, man, I love me some Pedro, dude.
He's been fun to watch, and I think them being able to keep guys like him and Shaw that are big league ready, but maybe aren't ready to be stars, or maybe they'll never be stars, but they are genuine contributors to this team. You got to find those guys. Those are just as important to your team as much as, hey, we made the right trade for PCA.
I mean, he's like a modern day. Would you say Chris Coughlin?
Maybe a little bit. Mark DeRosa, if
Maybe
you
a
want to
little
throw
Chris
it back
Coughlin
a
or
little further.
who's that?
A little, maybe like Mark DeRosa or a little bit like Mike
Oh,
Fontano.
DeRosa for sure. Yeah.
Just those guys that could play a couple spots, and they
That
give
you got
you
to
they
you
give
got to
you
have those kind
something.
of guys. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, his bat. I think the most impressive part, Tyler, his bat is good enough where like Carson Kelly doesn't have to DH every day and can just get his rest when he needs it
Yeah.
when Amaya is catching, because Pedro can DH. Like his bat is good enough then where Seiya can be in right. Which, by the way, I think this got a lot of love because of that incredible play Seiya made in the Dodgers series off the wall to nab Tucker at second.
Yep.
Seiya Suzuki's defense this year has not been talked about enough.
I know.
What an improvement that guy has freaking
Yes.
made.
For a guy to
He's like
basically
one of the
not play
best.
outfield last season.
Yeah.
I know.
And like you can make the argument that he's in the Gold Glove conversation and right this year.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure you could. And I hope he does. And he would shut up a lot of people from what was it 2 years ago that everybody wanted to say, oh, Seiya can't play right field, all because of one play against the Braves. People wanted to point at him and be like, right field is a tough place to play. My dad and I was talking about that specific play with Kyle Tucker because that was the Tuesday game, right?
Yeah, such a good
and
play.
He was like, I don't know, Tyler. Like he may could have caught that ball. I was like, well, or talking about no, he was talking about when Kyle Tucker was in right. That's what it was. And I was like, Dad, look, you don't realize Wrigley Field at right field at Wrigley Field is one of the toughest, if not the toughest outfields to play in all of baseball.
Yeah.
Because
of the sun, because of just the dimensions of the ballpark,
yeah,
the way the
just
ball
the
bounces.
odd dimensions, you're literally playing in front of a brick wall.
Yeah.
But you're right, Ron. He has not his defense, and he's got an arm. He has got, I want to say before he came to major leagues, he was playing, I want to say he played a little third base in Japan.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a cannon.
He does. He has a hell of an arm.
What a play. Yeah. What a play the other night. That was just the cherry on top of it all. It really was. And no, boo Kyle Tucker if you want to. I'll boo Kyle Tucker. I don't care. But it was just so poetic that the guy that took your spot on the field was up at bat and you threw him out at second base. It was poetic.
It was a little poetic. It was fun, man. I'll tell you what, again, I don't think enough love being given to Seiya's defensive improvement this year. He's been fantastic and good for him, honestly, because he's become such an important part of this team. Seiya going to be such a hard decision, saying that Darren says he doesn't want to see him go. This is true.
Well, maybe he doesn't go.
Maybe he doesn't, Tyler. I was thinking the same thing.
Maybe he doesn't. But Alcantara too. He hit a homer. I mean, that was awesome to see.
Sure did.
A guy that's up, down, as far as being moved from AAA to majors. Yeah. Like, I get it. It sucks. But him too, man. He had a good game. What was that? I believe that was it was the first game of the series.
Monday. It was the Monday game with the two-run homer. Yeah.
But,
he was. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just saying that maybe they can keep saying it, but go ahead.
Oh, no, I agree. I think they could keep saying it. I was in agreement with you. I think that's where my thought process was going with that. So it's good stuff, man. But yeah, Alcantara up and down. Literally went back down in this course of the 6 days in between shows here. It comes on tap. It's nice to have depth, Tyler. They've got a lot of it. And speaking of some of that depth, let's keep talking about this thing even further, because the depth does help when we get to the weekend, especially the new faces and things like that. However, let's give some quick appreciation and love to that Blue Jays game, because you touched on it a little bit earlier, but let's expand, because that was the Alex Bregman game. I also saw somebody say that might have been Boog's best call of the year, and I might have to agree. It was very, very good. talking about like this Bregman found his moment, and it's like, yeah, like he's here to like make his presence felt. And that was, I think, really the first time that we've gotten some good like late inning heroics from Alex Bregman this
Oh yeah.
year, and it was huge. See shoved all day. They get after the bullpen, and then Tyler, let's talk about those extra innings.
Mm.
A lot of good plays. Unfortunately, one that robbed the Cubs maybe of winning the game. That Ernie Clement play was bonkers
Yeah.
to rob Carson Kelly of what probably most times is a game-winning hit for Carson Kelly. That was ultimate robbery from Clement. And then for an incredible base running play then to be made by PCA ultimately, especially after a bad one where Carson Kelly gets thrown out at the plate trying to score on PCA's hit. So the excitement was there in extras. You got the late inning heroics, and it just, I think that Cubs team, they knew like that crowd was bumping on Thursday. Absolutely bumping on Thursday. I think it almost benefited the Cubs more to play that game in August because of what it means now for this team's momentum late than it would have been
Yes.
in
Oh,
June.
big time. Big time. Yes. That for them, I mean, what was that? That would have been because I was at the Saturday game of that June series. For them to had they won that, it would have been another game that maybe they would have won, probably would have got forgotten about because you had the All-Star break and all that kind of stuff. But for them to do it, especially right after the Dodgers series, to continue your winning streak. David Peterson, by the way, one bad start against St. Louis. Other than that, has been
Nails.
exact for a guy you picked up for what was just like a player to be named later for to the Mets or something like that.
It was Cole Mathis, who I believe he was like the 13th or 14th prospect last year. I think that would shift now after the trade deadline and the influx of draft talent and just the departures and goings.
Yeah.
But I mean, go ahead.
For them to take a chance on just, you look at David Peterson, we all were saying it when he first showed up here, just, well, at least it's another body. At least it's a body that we can pencil in because all our other bodies are injured right now. And you're going up against a Cy Young candidate, probably the number one Cy Young candidate right now because Slittler's kind of fell down a little bit. But you're going to face off against and it's a makeup game on a Thursday. We wasn't scheduled to do this. Go get him, kid. And to go 5 innings and just give up 1 run. I mean, what more could you ask for?
Maybe the best depth trade made by Jet all year, because every year he's got to find that early season guy that helps them, right? He's done it in the bullpen consistently. Tyson Miller is the first name I think of because he was like a late April waivers claim. They were just like, yep, you in the bullpen right now. And he was fantastic. That's kind of what the Peterson move feels like for this season because, they brought some talent in. They had a tryout. It looked like the cartoons in the old Mickey cartoons where they do the conga around the bases. That's what it felt like. The transaction wire for the Cubs, guys coming in on minor league deals, getting released. Guys they're just trying people out. Who can come help us do anything? And then the Mets are just like, we'll give you Peterson for a prospect. And the Cubs are like, deal. And he has been, as you said, outside of one bad start against St. Louis, spectacular. Like, what else could you have asked for out of Peterson? I remember watching Drew Peterson give up a home run as a Met to Javier Baez back in May of 2021 before full capacity was a thing and it was still social distancing and the Cubs were hot and they just won 11-4. Like, the guy was just an inning eater. That's all he was meant to be at the major league level. And it feels like this year he's given them so much more than he's ever given at any other point in his career. And it's awesome that they were able to get that guy and him become a meaningful contributor.
For sure. It's great to see. I mean, and when hopefully everybody's healthy by the end of the year, they're in a playoff spot. Does he make your playoff rotation? No. Does he make the pitching rotation? I guess that depends on
Maybe.
who, maybe depending on who's healthy,
Maybe.
who's not. But either way, whether he is on that whether he's on the playoff roster or not, he will be a reason that you're looking at this season and saying, yeah, he's one of the guys. He's not a flashy name. He's not one of the first 10 guys you think of on this team. Maybe not even the first 12 guys you think of on this team. Maybe not even the first 15 guys you think of when you think of this team. But he will be one of the quiet guys that helped this team get to where they needed to be, because they needed him. They literally needed him to do what he's doing now, or else.
And he came at a very opportune time because other injuries had just happened, right? Like Ben Brown had finally just gotten banged up, and like it got to a very dire time with the Cubs starting
Oh yeah.
rotation when Peterson arrived from the Mets and was an immediate impact. And that was huge for them timing wise, because it almost felt like he helped kind of carry them until at least like Boyd got healthy, right? And then
For
you
sure.
had Boyd, Shota, and it largely him and some heroics from Assad again, because Javier Assad's been fantastic. He dueled with Scooble on Tuesday. How about that
Yep.
guy? But it took like incredible performances from all those guys to carry the Cubs then to the deadline to get the guys that are now in their rotation to fill it out properly. It's big
Oh,
stuff,
for
man.
sure. I'm telling you, he's going to be an unsung hero of this team. He's kind of like the not to go back 10 years ago, but who was it? Jason Hamill? Jason Hamill in
Yeah.
2016?
Yeah.
And didn't even make the playoff roster. But I
No.
want to say he dang near almost got 20 wins that season. Maybe he got like 16 or something like that. Like
I think
he
he got like
threw in
15 or
meaningful.
16.
It was something crazy. Threw in meaningful games. It's the same thing with David Peterson. You've got to have those kind of guys. And like you said, we also
Yeah.
forget that Jameson Ty. It was either when Jameson Tyon was hurt or he was still going through his little thing. So yeah, he was one of maybe what three ish starters that you could pencil in to say, yep, you guys are starting today, and then the rest of it was kind of like,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. But yeah, he is just he's been great.
Yeah. And now he's the fifth guy. And who knows, right? Does he get bumped out before this team even gets to October? We'll have to wait and see. But awesome, awesome stuff in that Toronto game. Awesome stuff from Peterson. Now, the Royals series, Tyler. They took care of business.
Again.
At the end of the day, we got to see a Kevin Gossman debut.
Mm.
That was a thing of beauty from the veteran. We got to see at least Clay Holmes's debut. There was maybe a little bit of rust that he's shaking off coming off the IL, but ground balls were there. He's pitching to this team's style. That's all he needs to do. And then, of course, in the final game, Boyd with the outstanding effort. This was a fun series, Tyler. Like, this felt like a playoff rotation kind of for the first time all year now. And, outside of an outing from Holmes, they took care of business. And that's what you want this team to start to do at this point in the year. 2 or 3 from here on out. Stay steady, stay strong.
When you're arguably your most exciting, I mean, I don't want to say, I don't know how you'd rank I don't know how you'd rank your acquisitions, but when one of your biggest acquisitions first outing with the new team and goes 7 innings, Ron, that's just a chef's kiss. That's exactly what you wanted. And yeah, Clay Holmes, only 4 innings. Like you said, I think he's shaking a little rust off. He got the ground balls. I think at Wrigley, he's going to be just fine. And for Boyd to do what we just talked about, what he did on Monday, it's exactly what you want to see I'm looking at the schedule here in the middle of August. You've got a month and a half left of the season. And if we can get outings like this, long out, I don't strikeouts, whatever, that's awesome too. But just the fact that guys are going deep into games. It's great to see. Obviously, it takes the pressure off your bullpen, but you're just making a statement. You're just it just you're firing the boys up. Um, Man, it just feels like it's clicking right now. Like you said, you're taking care of business 2 out of 3 every single series. And not to jinx anything, not to, because I get it. That's why you play 162. But you look at the schedule for the rest of the month, and if you can continue to play like you did this series, I think you're going to win more series than you're going to lose them.
100%. And that positions you in a fantastic spot in early September when the Brewers show up again on the schedule.
And also, real quick, speaking of Saturday, it doesn't help when people like Jack Caglione is going to be a 1B to Bobby Witt Jr. eventually. I love Caglione. I love watching him play. It doesn't surprise me that he just dominated the Cubs on Saturday, but he's going to be a dude in this league. Not to say that they couldn't have won Saturday, but hey, you wiped it away on Sunday, so that's great.
Wiped it away in a big way too. Like dominant win, low stress, a Maya 3-run bomb late to just blow the thing open. That's exactly how you want to come back and take care of business. And they did just that. Darren says here,
And
Holmes got the ground balls, shaved 30 off the exit field, and all is good. Go ahead, Tyler. Sure.
I was going to say, and Hap had a big series too.
Yes.
For somebody that was just batting ninth in the lineup, 2 games ago, somebody that, and there's still a possibility, but for somebody that everybody was saying, hey, Hap may be seeing some time on the bench sooner rather than later. For him to homer Saturday and then to turn around and have a 3-hit game on Sunday, he got his 20th home run of the season.
Yeah.
Definitely needed that big game for a guy that, hey, you look at him and you're like, hey, you're one of the guys in that clubhouse that everybody looks at. You're one of the guys that they look up to and everything like that. So for him to step up on Sunday was big because he really, really needed it.
Yeah. He's been that long time, just like he was kind of the face of the franchise in the darker days of this team. Right. And
yeah.
He's been around the longest and he's beloved in Chicago. Guys 100% look up to him. He's a locker room guy. It's not just Bregman. It's not just some of these other guys.
And hey, and Bush too. Bush to have a 3-for-5 game. He's quietly brought his average up to, he's close to 250.
Yeah.
A guy that kind of in that same boat at Hap, at least in the beginning of the season. It was like, hey man, come on, we gotta start waking up a little bit. And for him to have a big game today too, that was big too.
100%. This was a fun week of Cubs baseball, Tyler. Absolutely fun week. I ask you now, sir, as one of our questions before we look ahead. I must know your biggest takeaway of this 7-game stretch of Cubs baseball.
Oh man, it's. I'd say 2 things. One's kind of an easy one, which is just the dominance of PCA, just the maturity of PCA from last season. Last season, this time of this year, we were screaming at the kid just to be like, and it just completely disappeared the second half. And for this year, this half of the season, he's continuing to do the same thing he did in the first half. And yeah, maybe he doesn't have a 3 or 4-hit game every night, but like on Thursday, he just does something every single game that helps his team win. Thursday was a big one. Thursday was a huge one. And then on Wednesday, I get it. There's still a lot of baseball left. The MVP conversation can it is what it is. I love the way he approaches it though. When people ask him, he doesn't shy away from it, but he also just is like, hey, he also understands. Look, Ohtani is Ohtani. He's a unicorn. We'll never see it again. And he is a very humble person when asked about that. But he gets it. He jokes about it and stuff like that. But for him to step up on Wednesday to do that was just for that moment, for you to be there. I mean, that'll be something, Ron.
It was pretty
You'll
epic.
be able to tell your kids about one day that you were at that game and saw that. But other than that, I think we are seeing we're beginning to see a hot stretch from Alex Bregman. And maybe at the end of the year, he's not going to have the 30, 40 bombs, whatever. But I think we're about to see a run with Bregman that we're going to stop and say, that's why we added him to this team. That's exactly why that's what we were talking about at the beginning of, what was it, during that Bears-Packers game. That's exactly why we were just so happy and excited for Bregman. That we're about to see that, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. Scott's got a fantastic question here, Tyler. But I do want to just add on real quick. I think that game on Wednesday for PCA, if it goes the way Cubs fans hope it does, and it's an MVP season, that's one of those moments that, like, when you make the 2.5-minute highlight reel of the biggest moments of the MVP season, that's one of them.
Yes, it is.
Like that's the PCA goes toe to toe with Ohtani in the series finale to cap off a sweep for the Cubs at Wrigley. Like, that's a borderline career defining moment. So I hope that's the case. It's still going to be a fun memory, even if he doesn't.
It is, whether he wins or not. And my good buddy Steve, shout out Steve.
Shout out Steve. I love Steve.
I jumped. So he does dugout dispatch, and we had that conversation about Ohtani, and it's just I'm afraid, as bad as I want PCA to win, I'm afraid there's too many just old heads that are still. I think it's a combination of just the quote unquote Ohtani fatigue. I'm not, I love seeing what he's doing, but just the combination of that mixed with so many old heads that still get votes. Whatever, to me, he's our MVP, and it's going to be a season, no matter what happens, that we're going to talk about for years.
Tyler, one more question before we get to Scott's. Would you rate PCA's season this year, based on how you think it's going right now? Would you rate this higher or lower? If he doesn't win the MVP award, would you rate this higher or lower than Javier Baez's 2019?
Ooh.
Or 2018, sorry.
2018, yeah.
Javier Baez's second place finish.
That was the year that Yelich won, right? In 2018.
That was his second place finish in MVP.
I would take this one.
Okay.
I would take this one over that one.
I tend to
just
agree.
Because of just the maturity that you've seen as a player. Not that Javi Baez was immature, but just the maturity in the batters. Because even that season in 2018, Baez still had some ABs that you were just like,
whoa. Yeah.
PCA this year compared to last year, anytime we could sit here, like, I don't do live betting, but I could have made I don't know how much last season on predicting whether or not PCA was going to strike out, depending on the situation. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. If you got one strike on him, it's just like, don't throw a strike to him. He's going to swing himself out of this AB. And this year, dude, has just been the complete opposite. And I would put that over that 2018 season, I think.
I can completely agree with you, Tyler. And you know what's kind of crazy is, even if you compare PCA's season a year ago to like Javi's season, I think that was a lot of what we saw in the swing and miss. It was like, well, there were times where you knew it was coming. If he was in a cold spell or whatever, don't get me wrong, Javi had an incredible year. Don't discredit that. But to your point about this season, it just feels like everything's working for PCA. Constant extra base hits, constant theatrics, but like this sense of almost controlled theatrics where like Javier Baez was like,
yes, that's a good way. His is a little more controlled.
It's just a little more control. There's still elements of it there. You hear PCA talk about that Javier Baez was the guy he like looked up to and wanted to play like as just this fearless, does crazy shit, but like makes things happen type of guy. But I don't know what it is. It just feels
I
there's
know
more
exactly. Yeah,
poise maybe to it.
I agree. I agree. Does he get? I noticed that he's seven. I know this sounds crazy. Does he get 7 more doubles?
He might. He
If he
really
gets
might.
7, that's because if he gets 7 more doubles, you can almost bank he's having a back-to-back 30-30-30 season.
I think
And
he could.
the only thing I'm nervous about him not getting 7 doubles is because he's going to turn some of those would-be doubles into triples, or they're going to go over the fence.
That's
What I'm.
100%
Yeah.
true. I agree. That's how I
Yeah.
feel too. I think you can get him 7 doubles. And Tyler, you know when I think they're gonna come? I think they're gonna come in like probably like mid-September. You start getting a couple of
That'd be
cooler
awesome.
nights. Maybe the wind is whipping in a little bit more at Wrigley.
Yeah.
It happens in September.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe you get a couple more of those doubles. I think he can get there. I really do, and I think it's going to be
I hope so.
awesome if he does. All right, now we have to get the
Yeah.
Scott
So
question.
what does Scott got?
He has the Cubs ending with 96 victories. Is he right, or is he too high, or is he too low? Tyler, a little bit of context. Current record for everybody officially 69-50 after today. 5.5 back in the division, etc. They have about what 45 to 50 games left, give or take, if my math is right.
They have what nine? I'm looking at it right now. They have 19 games left this month.
And then the whole month of September.
You win. I mean, could you win if you win 11 or 12 of those at least, and I get it, it's baseball. What that gives you, 12 right there gives you 81. So you've got 15 for the next month. I don't want to look too far ahead. You've got the Brewers twice next month. You've got a Braves team next month. That's pretty hot. You finish with the Boston team. It's doable. It is very doable.
Yeah.
I
Definitely
wouldn't.
doable.
I'm not going to sit here and hammer the heck no, Scott. You're not right at all. Blah blah blah. It's what did they finish with last year? 90. What was it?
92.
92. I was going to say 91 or 93. I mean, I don't hate the pick. I mean, it is. It's very doable. You've got to finish. You've got a month, and we talk about this every year when you look at the schedule of teams, but you've got a second half of September that, again, it's baseball, but you could win every single series the rest of this month. Does that happen? I don't know, but boy, it'd be an easy way to get those 96 wins coming into, starting September. But it's doable.
I definitely think it's doable. Tyler, there is a world now they would need to play out of their minds baseball, but like there's a world they could get to 100 maybe, or at least get dang close.
I said after the Dodgers series that this team could still win the division. Does it hurt that every time we've been winning here lately that the Brewers are still? Yeah, that sucks. But if you finish this month and can just pick up maybe just, let's just say, one game, then you end this month / start September with a series against the Brewers at home, 4-game series, and then a 3-game series there the next week. This team, I'm telling you, if you finish August right, you could still win this division. And to win this division, Ron, it's not out of the realm of possibility, because if, as far as what you're saying with 100 wins, am I saying would I go that high? Probably not, but there is a world where if they finished August taking care of the business that they should take care of, and then you start that month of September taking care of business, there is a world where they win this division. They at least take the division lead by the 9th of September, and then you roll. You roll. And then 96 wins. Sure. 100, Ron? Possibly. It's not out of the realm of possibility. You can call me whatever, crazy bald idiot. I don't care. We started the show off by saying this team is good fun right now. Not just fun, but good fun.
Yeah, man.
You just keep the ball rolling, Ron, and it wouldn't shock me.
Would not shock me either. Darren says here the consistency of Bregman is what we got for him. Hopefully he's got it back because it's huge with the lineup up, down historically at the plate from some of the regulars. A good point indeed. And then Scott followed that up with, oh, by the way, the Cubs have the second hardest schedule remaining. If they're fun, good, Tyler, bring it on.
It's like what John Lester once said, you've got to get your nuts dragged through the dirt sometimes. And you know what? Maybe this is, but you ride that storm, and then great. You've been tested before the playoffs have even started. Bring it on. Bring it on.
You're ready. You're ready for high-level baseball and how you win at that high level for sure. Tyler, let's talk really, 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 really quick here about what is to come for the Chicago Cubs and their upcoming schedule. Tyler, it's a well-needed day off for this Cubs team on Monday. We're going to take the day off too. It's a big off day for this team. They got 3 with the Nationals, and we will be back during that national series with the shows, Tyler. 5:45, 5:45, 3:05 start times Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, respectively. What's it going to take for this team? Is it the message just 2 out of 3 the rest of the way, or is it, hey, we got to start to beat up on some teams that we think we're truly better than if we're going to be able to catch Milwaukee?
Obviously, 2 out of 3 is the bare minimum for sure. You say, "Oh, that's asking a lot." Well, I'm sorry, but when you're an elite team like the Cubs are, because they are, you got to have those expectations. And yeah, to double down on what you said, they've got to take care of the teams that they're supposed to take care of. And no disrespect to the Nationals, because hey, they've got one of the best offenses in baseball. That's crazy to say about the Nationals. You've got to take care of this team. As good as their offense has been, our pitching staff has got to do its job. Like you said, it's one of those teams you have to take care of. And this is one of those teams. Yeah, James Wood is great. CJ Abrams is great. The second baseman, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, that's leading the league in stolen bases, because I want to say that they lead the league in stolen bases as well. The pitching staff has got to step up and continue to do what it's done this last week and a half, it feels like. And yeah, obviously the offense showing up would be great too, but it starts on the mound. The pitching staff has to keep the bases pretty clear, and yeah, take care of business.
Take care of business indeed. Tyler, I think the only thing I have to add to that, because I think you absolutely nailed it, is that at this pace, it's 2 out of 3. It's 2 out of 3. Just take care of business. Win a series. And they'll get their sweeps. They just swept the Dodgers. Of course they're going to get their sweeps. But if it's a lesser team that has a better day, it's going to happen. That's baseball, especially in the dog days of August.
Yeah.
2 out of 3. Consistency is what's going to get them to a point, I think, Tyler, where Darren says here he thinks Cubs finish from 92 to 94. He says he hopes that we get to rub in that he's wrong. I always agree with that. But like, if Scott's prediction comes true and they get those 96, that's what it's going to take to get there, is that consistency through the month of August.
And hey, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure we've got some more arms coming pretty soon.
I hope so too. That was
Like I
that
want
was
to say
bad
Danny
etiquette from me.
P and Edward Cabrera are kind of
Yep.
making their way back. Like I'd say within the next week, possibly. So you like
What
to see that. Justin Steele, I haven't. I know he threw a bullpen last week. Not
yeah,
100% sure, but he's and who knows though. You know, he may be a September guy. There may be some more, but you've got reinforcements coming.
you sure do. Where do you think Cabrera comes out of the bullpen?
Uh, well, that's a good question. I think you start him out of the bullpen. I mean, because right now the way look at Assad, look at Peterson. What they've been doing has been excellent in their roles so far. Why mess that up right now? So I wouldn't hate Edward Cabrera out of the bullpen. I really wouldn't because I want to say even in his starts, I may be wrong, but it felt like in that last little stretch of starts before he hit the IL, the first inning was his inning where he gave up most of his damage, was it not?
Yep.
It felt like it anyway. So maybe that's a role that he can take at the end of this season or at least late in the season and roll with it. Hopefully,
Agreed. They're getting elite players, really good baseball players back, good pitchers, healthy pitchers at the right time, Tyler. It feels like they're just gonna like, hey, we appreciate your service. You know, you're going back to Iowa, or don't worry, you're staying with us. Well, you'll be around and
yeah,
hang out in the playoffs, but like we're just loading up. It
yeah,
feels like they're gonna have the opportunity to do that with just guys getting healthy,
yeah,
which is critically important. If you have them less, you just throw your best guys out there, whoever that may be. And Scott with another great point. The Cubs just played 17 straight games,
yeah.
and credit to the starters.
17 straight.
The bullpen is basically rested. Like they're really not in
Yeah,
bad shape for this time of the year. There's been years in the past where we've seen them, be gassed by this point in the year. Darren says Palencia due for once every 3 month showing, and he says that they miss Ben Brown.
yeah.
I agree. Ben Brown's going to be nasty coming back too. Again, things are looking up, Tyler, when it is all said and done. Here, Tyler, before we get out of here, I want to remind everybody Cubs on Tap can be found over on the On Tap Sportsnet YouTube page. Like, subscribe, hit that bell button. You know when all of our great shows go live, including us here at Cubs on Tap. Check out our friends over at Obvious Shirts. Head over to the website, ontapsportsnet.com, and On Tap Sportsnet on socials, and find out what's on tap in Chicago sports. Tyler, another great one in the books. National Series on the horizon. What do you say? We get out of here the only way we know how it comes on tap?
Oh yeah. I mean, I know not to look too far ahead, but we do got that one team coming up this weekend. But the problem is, Ron, I haven't even paid attention to them enough to know whether or not. I don't even think they're relevant right now when you look at the standings. But still doesn't mean I can't say F the Cardinals.
Of course not. And we can also say, let's go Cubbies.